Coping with Loneliness by Pascal Bauté. In the twilight of our lives, we will be measured by love. John of the Cross. Americans across generations are spending more time alone. In 2021, more reported experiencing, quote, serious loneliness, unquote. This is not an isolated behavior. Quote, close personal relationships are the one crucial factor that stands out for the consistency and power of its ties to physical health, mental health, and longevity, unquote, a recent Wall Street Journal article reported. Blinded, disabled, and aging veterans with their caregivers have a regular challenge in coping with loneliness as friends and family members pass away. COVID-19 has isolated us even more. I will use my 93 years, 54 years of marriage, and about 50,000 hours of listening to make suggestions for our veteran community, caregivers, and families of veterans with sight loss. One caution, please. I used to tell all my clients in therapy to not accept anything I say on face value or because it comes from this supposedly wise Dr. Bauté. This would be wrong both for you and for me. Everyone must find their own way, their own true north. Therefore, I told them all that they must consult their pillow twice and 2 days before using any idea of mine. That was so it was no longer my idea, but theirs. They acted because they decided that the idea suited them and not just me. I state the same here. My ideas may not be yours, but 1. Be thoughtful and generous to family, caregivers, and the family network and friends. Research shows that the phrase, thank you, is the magic word and sustains happy relationships. Show every day that you care for some person. When you love someone, you never stop caring or being considerate. We live in a world where this phrase and even acknowledgement of emails are widely neglected. Yet today we have many ways to stay connected that we did not have a generation ago. 2. Loneliness is a choice. We make many choices every day. When those choices do not include some form of connecting with others, we are choosing social isolation. It is no one else's job to care for our social health. When we prefer cell phone games, television viewing, reading, or any other hobby to the exclusion of connecting with others, we are then choosing loneliness. 3. We can begin to realize that we create our own world, the reality we live within, by our choices, positive or negative. I have a friend who constantly uses the negative, and he finds it every day. We can ask ourselves what our habitual mood is. People who are anxious or sad or angry will find reasons to be such, which will justify their feelings. We find what we are looking for and justification for whatever our mood is. So, to recognize this is the first necessary step to avoid being our own worst enemy. An important question is, how much free rent do I want to give to bad stuff? 4. We have much research today on happiness, well-being, and longevity. There is ample research that shows that the single most important key to long-range happiness is social relationships. If we want to avoid loneliness, we must make an investment in our social relationships, connecting by using however many of the traditional or more modern electronic means we have today at our disposal. 5. We naturally use our reactive brand, finding fault or blame that easily focuses on the negative. We may have neglected social skills because of gaming habits that came out of the separation required by COVID. We easily excuse ourselves from reaching out. In our current situation, we must rid ourselves of mistrust and fear, which is the white noise in our background. We must risk connecting. 6. We may still retain a mistrust in organized religion. However, many churches today have social programs, classes, services, or other events that are interactive and even fun. These can help us think more reflectively about ourselves. 7. Have a regular schedule for your self-care activities. Sleep well, eat right, and drink enough water. Self-care as we get older needs to be a regular preoccupation, as we will quickly neglect some aspect of our well-being if we are not paying close attention. 8. Some regular cardiovascular exercise, even that of walking, is necessary for your heart, your immune system, your brain, and your digestive system. Keep moving. 9. It is important for longevity and positivity to have a purpose in life, something which can get us out of bed on the right side, some hobby, some unfinished project, or some other way to contribute to your community or to others. And last, 10. Undertaking some reflection about our reactive brain can work in our favor in calming us from our worries and our regrets. Developing a more thoughtful, reflective, and prayerful self in the face of mistrust, fear, and insanity is also vital to our mental health and longevity. For myself, I also find a religious teaching, one about both grace and love being free and unbounded, to be a guide to my own true north. 3 themes have emerged from these extraneous ideas. Remain active mentally and physically. Take responsibility for your social life and be willing to nurture several relationships. Become reflective about the chatter you allow between your ears. Grace and grit find hope around every corner.